When we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change.
Sunbeam Tarot here with another pick a card reading for you all. This one is an Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Legend of Korra themed reading, and it is about your life purpose. Now, I don't want life purpose to be specifically meaning career or the one thing you're supposed to do in your life, but more as something that you really need to focus on at this current state of your life, whatever that is. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you get to it, that is whichever one you pick, that is what it means to you. Every pile was different today. We have 4 different piles here based off of the 4 elements from the Avatar, and everybody's was different. We had different careers that we looked at. We even just had different journeys that we needed to go on for each group. It was so much fun. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Firstly, actually no, I'm going to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Alexis. I do pick a card readings that are mainly nerdy themed, so Disney, anime, whatever else. I'm planning to do one for the spooky season soon. Here is a preview of what that's going to be about, so stay tuned for that. If you like what you see here, subscribe and comment on my videos. Everyone says such kind and lovely things, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for all the kind things that you say. If you're interested in getting a reading with me, I do have an Etsy shop where I have a couple different listings for some tarot card readings for you to choose from, and I'm going to be posting more soon. And I got a lot of other fun things coming up soon, so stay tuned for all that fun stuff on my channel. You could also follow me on Instagram, which is where I post a lot more often throughout the week. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. So I have our 4 piles that are broken up into the 4 elements, or the 4 nations of the Avatar world. So we have the Water Nation, or the Water Element, for group 1. We have the Earth Kingdom, or just the Earth Element, for group 2. We have the Fire Nation, or just the Fire Element, for group 3. And we have the Air Nomads, or the Air Element, for group 4. So go ahead and pick which one feels right. That again is group 1 for water, group 2 for earth, group 3 for fire, and group 4 for air. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with group number 1. Hi, group 1. So if you chose the water tribe, then these are going to be your messages for what your life purpose is. Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Legend of Korra style. And it could be a life purpose for like your whole life, or maybe just a purpose for something you need to do right now. It's going to be different for everyone, so just have fun with it. So our first tarot card is the Star. We have the 4 of Wands, 8 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, interesting, and the Lovers. Okay, life purpose. I will get to your oracle cards in a second, but group 1, I see here that some of you might have a really strong calling in something that has to do with relationships. So I'm looking at something here that might have to do with like wedding planning, or helping people who are in relationships, a photographer, like a wedding photographer, or even like a counselor. Or this could just be something that you guys want to do with your own life, which has to do with like getting married, or just having a couple relationship partnership, something like that. So why am I thinking this? Well, first I have the Star here, which talks to me about like dreams and things coming true and stuff that we really want to happen. And then we have the 4 of Wands here, which is about foundations, but it's also about marriages, sometimes weddings, event planning. And so to see this as a life purpose reading, this is really saying to me that some of you might have a knack for this, or just a strong desire to do something that has to revolve around other people, decisions that have to do with couples or, you know, relationships or parties or something like that. And we see that here with the Lovers as well, you know, like not only is the Lovers about love or just a duality or decisions, this particular Lovers card for me also talks about like parties, having a good time, music, things being really fun, and just having a lot of things to go through, right? Like a lot of songs, a lot of planning. That's why I'm thinking like parties or planning or something like that, wedding in some sort. Maybe you're somebody who just really likes to do that stuff. This could also mean for some of you that you just really want to get married. But also then we have the Eight of Swords, which is very interesting because if this is a life purpose for some of you, this could be like something that's holding you back for that, right? So the Eight of Swords talks about like anxiety, but in the sense that there's a way out of there, there's a way to accomplish the things that you want, but you need to take some necessary steps in order to make that happen. You need to face reality. You need to face the truth of how will I actually be able to accomplish something like this for myself, or go about completing my life's purpose, or even just exploring something. Some of you might be feeling something like, you know, like I even though I want to do this, like there's so many people out there that are doing the same thing. I'd be starting from square one. It would take me forever to get to that point. You know, the way that life is right now, many people aren't even getting married because they can't have parties, or, you know, like how am I going to get notoriety? How am I going to get clients? Like that's the type of things I'm seeing here with this Eight of Swords that you're afraid of. So we're seeing this dream here. We're seeing this want, this reality, something that you would want to accomplish, and you see it planned out in your mind, like how you want to do it, like the things you would love to do with your life and with yourself, but just a big fear around being able to do it because you feel like there's no path, there's no way to get to where you want to go. Or you're just very discouraged because we're starting from square one, right? Like the Ace of Pentacles. This is a financial gain or a stability journey that is starting from the very beginning. It's slow. It could be something long-term, but you're still at the beginning, which is what makes it very hard sometimes. And so I'm seeing that here with that Eight of Swords, just some anxiety around that. Let's look at our Oracle cards now. Love heals fear. The power of love can help bullies and angry people be less afraid. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so then I can see what is of the highest good. Okay, so we definitely have some fear here around how to get our stuff going for us. They broke your heart. Fuck them. I'm going to put that there with that. And conflict. You've been undecided about a situation or a relationship for a while. While pros and cons list, write a pros and cons list and be true to the facts you've noted. Okay, so all of these really seem to go well with one another. So like I was saying, this is a general reading, so take what resonates. Also, you know, just have fun with it. Have it applied to you in the way that makes the most sense. But these three right off the bat here, we have a conflict going on here, right? Love, healing, fear, someone breaking hearts, conflict. This has a lot to me that I said earlier about that that counselor or just helping people with couples, things like that. You might be somebody who's just really good at helping people with their relationship problems. That might be something that you're just really into. And that's your life purpose, is to tackle things like that with somebody, being like a life coach or something like that. Hence why that fear is there. Some of you even, like, you might be looking at this life purpose as, how should I say, like you're thinking about your own relationship stuff. Like, what is your life purpose with your relationships with people, with dating people or marriage and things like that. And you have this dream of having those things happen, but there might be some fear around that, maybe because you're starting from the beginning of a new relationship, or dealing with some anxiety even around wanting your life purpose to include another person, which is totally fine. We all have that, right? Like, some of us just want to be in relationships, and that's part of our plan, right? Like I said, life purpose that we're talking about here, it's going to show many different facets. It's not about the one and only thing you're ever going to do within your life. We live for a very long time. There's going to be lots of things that you're going to be able to do. You're going to fall in love with lots of people, or have lots of jobs and do lots of adventures. And so this is just looking at one snapshot of something that you need to be considering. So now that I'm reiterating that, they broke your heart, the love, healing, fear, and conflict. either that is something for some of you that you're interested in pursuing, or this is something that you're dealing with right now, is learning how to get over this stuff, learning how to overcome this fear and this fear right here, so then you could start this process again to get to that place that you want to go. I can see here why it's very, why it could be very scary to do that, right? You know, getting over a broken heart or even helping people with a broken heart is something that is hard to overcome and it's hard to tackle. But you, just based off of this alone, you do have the foundations in place in order to get yourself started with whatever this life purpose is to you. Whether it's learning how to move on for a past relationship or learning how to help other people move on from past relationships. It's just a very relationship heavy thing here for this group one, that your life purpose is revolved around relationships in some way. But you have the ability to pursue whatever it is you're trying to pursue and not be afraid of it. That's why I see this here with like this fuck them here as well. Saying that could be talking about people that are judging you, or people that have said things in the past, or people who literally have broken your heart. But this could also be talking about your emotions too, right? Things that you are just thinking to yourself that is limiting your beliefs. So what I want to get on with this before I move on to the quotes and things like that is that you have the ability to see beyond this limiting fear. You have the ability to train your mind in a sense to go, okay, I know I'm afraid, but I have options. Everything is figure outable, as my friend always says. There's a way to change your perceptions and expand on what you're currently thinking, right? Just because you're starting on square one doesn't mean anything. That means you have a fresh start, you have a fresh mindset. That means that you could pick up new ideas along the way that others have paved on the road that they've done ahead of you. Yes, they may have more experience, or they might have gotten along with something faster than you have, but you can still get through that, right? That might even just be what your conflict is right now, learning how to step off from the square one space with whatever it is that you're feeling. But you have that ability to do that, right? It's about the decisions that we choose to make about this love or relationships. It's about how we choose to perceive our dreams. They're able to be accomplished in some way, okay? So that is something I just wanted to say there for you. Clearly this is going to be very specific for some of you, so just taking what resonates and learning how to start changing your perception in order to obtain all of this in the future. Let's go ahead and pull you guys some quotes and which avatar you're going to be like. Let's see. Sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else. I mean, this is very specific for somebody, so I really hope it gets that message out there. Helping other people is a big one here. This might even be your thing, right? Like, maybe you have low self-esteem about helping others, maybe because you're like, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have this limiting beliefs. How can I be a life coach for other people when I have limiting beliefs myself? You can accomplish that as you're working with other people, okay? So that's another thing here that I want to say about this real quick. Just because you're on square one, don't stay on square one thinking that you have to be perfect and everything needs to be complete before you can move forward. You can move forward and grow within yourself, how you handle things. Your confidence can grow as you move along in this life purpose for yourself. All right, let me actually put these in a little pouch so then I don't notice which one I'm grabbing. All right, this one. You guys got Aang. Airbender, meditative, avoids confrontation, loves attention, trailblazer, spiritual, empathetic, takes on problems as your own, and goofy. Okay, if anyone could be somebody who helps others out with their emotional problems, it is literally Aang. Aang is all about, I mean, the avatar always is about settling differences and just making the bridge between the spirit world and the human world and between other people and making nations balanced. But in general, he's just all about caring about other people. He loves attention. He loves being silly and goofy. He loves love. He loves happiness. He's all about that flow-freeing feelings. But even the airbender can have some doubts, right? That heavy mental energy, those blocks. avoiding confrontation. We have some conflict here we need to address. That's what the Eight of Swords is trying to avoid this confrontation out of fear. But you can be a person that can acknowledge like, hey, I might not know what I'm doing at first, but I can learn because I really want to help other people, or I really want this life for myself. Being empathetic with others and taking on other people's problems as your own. I also just read this as, you know, helping people with their problems and having other people help you with your problems as well. Okay, guys, those are going to be your messages for a brief snapshot in your life purpose here. Let me know in the comments below if this resonated with anybody. I'd love to hear more. If you haven't done so already, like, comment, subscribe, tell me things. I love it when you guys leave comments for me. And if you even want a private reading, go ahead and go to my Etsy shop. The link or the comment is in the description below. And I would love to do more readings for you all. Okay, thank you so much. We're going to move on to group number 2. All right, group 2. So if you chose the earth element, these are going to be your messages for what your life purpose is. The Legend of Korra or Avatar The Last Airbender style, just Avatar style in general. This could be like your main life purpose. This could be like it could be about literally anything, like what you're supposed to be doing, who you're supposed to be with, whatever. So for our first tarot card, we have the Ten of Wands. Excuse me if you hear me sniffling. We have the Hierophant, Page of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Swords. But he came out in reverse, so I'll actually leave him like that because it just feels right. So let's see what we have here. So, interesting. All right, some of you, you might have a really good knack for arguing is what I want to say. And here's why I think that here. Arguing in the sense of like trying to find justice for other people, like a lawyer. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Or something where you're looking at finding out information for other people who are having a tough time. And here's why I think that. We have the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands is about sometimes doing the job that is tough, that not everyone wants to do. It could talk about, it's like a very, sometimes it could be a very burdensome job, but it is very important for someone to have. It does help out a lot of people. It is a weight on someone's shoulders, but it is almost like heroic in some respect if we do it correctly. And then we have the Hierophant here, was about knowledge, pure, especially in this deck. He always talks to me about like pure knowledge, not to be used for the personal gain of others. And sometimes when we do use knowledge for the personal gain of others or for ourselves, it can, it could either harm others or benefit others and like sway certain discussions or warrant issues and something like that. So this might be something that you're big with. You might be somebody who your life purpose is to, help other people with some major issues that they might have in their lives, maybe some financial issues. Maybe you're really good at problem solving certain things, and maybe a lot of people might come to you with certain stuff. You might have also had just a lot of shit happen to you in your life, and so that's why you're so good at this sort of thing, like just very knowledgeable in that respect. And then we have the Page of Pentacles here. So this is very interesting next to the Hierophant, because the Hierophant's all about institutions, traditional means of schooling or job, something like that. That's why I think lawyer, because, you know, traditional, I don't know. We always think of like those main jobs that we all learned about as kids, like police officer, teacher, lawyer, doctor, you know, that sort of thing. That's what I always think about with the Hierophant. But we have the Page of Pentacles, which to me is a novice, someone who's new and learning this sort of stuff. So it's somebody who has dabbled in this type of energy or has done stuff like this, but they're not necessarily doing it fully to their potential yet. But I see that you might be going that route soon. And the King of Swords is very interesting here, especially in reverse, because the King of Swords is about communication. It's about beliefs. It's about speaking our truth from an authoritative stance. But in reverse, sometimes it could talk about manipulation, lies even. And so when we see that here, some of you might be dealing with something in your life soon where your purpose is to just unravel the lies or mistreating that someone else has caused to other people or to yourself. something big is going to happen for some of you that causes you to really dive into this talent or this part of yourself that you're really good at, which could be very burdensome for you a little bit, but it's going to be something that might set you on the right path for who you truly are and what you're willing to stand up for. Especially when we see Toph here being the Page of Pentacles, you know, she had a part of herself. If you ever saw the show, she's this blind girl who is amazing at earthbending, and her purpose as a child initially was meant to become the one who taught the Avatar earthbending. She grew up, obviously, and she did other stuff in her life. She became a cop. She became a cop. She taught other people how to do metal bending. She created metal bending. She did all these other things with her life. And she was also very good at knowing when people were lying. Wow, all this is starting to really come together for me. I'm really starting to see here that some of you might be doing something that has to do with other people, knowing when other people are lying in a big way. And it doesn't have to be like something that you do professionally. Like maybe you won't be a lawyer or a police officer unless you want to or want to pursue that. But something big is just going to happen where your life purpose is to discover that, or even help people to discover what parts of themselves are remaining hidden, or they're lying to themselves or something like that. Help them come into their true form of some sort. So I'm seeing lots of teacher here, especially with Toph being a teacher, and we have the Hierophant. And it's almost like a job that, like I said, that either no one wants to do, or it's something that doesn't have a lot of notoriety. You're really paving a way here, group 2, with whatever it is your life purpose is. Paving the way in some way, either for yourself or for others as a career. And so that's really noble, even if it's something that's really hard to bear with. Let's look and see what our oracle cards are. Wish upon a star, make a wish and expect the very best. Okay, so we got 2 of these. So we got intuition. Your intuition and inner voice never tells anything other than the truth. Quiet your mind, push doubt out of the way. And when you act out on wisdom, you hold the power within you. You already know what to do. Very interesting here, especially with this whole theme of lying and truth-telling. Cause and effect. You get what your heart desires by being true to the work that you put in. Work diligently on your dreams and then watch the universe reward and deliver. Interesting. We have my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and love into fear into love. And love. Get some, give some, it will cheer you up. Okay. I love this here. This might be something, a wish upon a star to me talks about like a wish coming true, helping people see the best in a situation, cause and effect and intuition. We're saying a lot here about truth, coming into a truth of some sort, helping others come into their truth as well. Your purpose has a lot to do with your intuition and truth telling, honestly. Like this might even just be a spiritual journey for some of you. You know, and just in general here with these 2, making a wish and expecting the very best, and then you get what you put in, that's something that we're seeing here, right? So we're seeing that here with the 10 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Like this sometimes is a burden to achieve these sorts of things, and it's an uphill battle, but you can actually do it. Regardless of what people think about you, or what you even think about yourself, or what conflicts you've put in place on yourself, what beliefs you're saying to yourself that is, you know, hindering you in some way, that's all going to change relatively soon. Something's going to literally stir a cause and effect that triggers something for you to start taking on more of this journey with whatever energy we got here going for you guys. It's kind of interesting. I really like that. It's very different from what everyone else has going on right now, and I really like that. So take what resonates for you. It's going to be different for everyone. Have fun with it. I'm going to go ahead and pull you guys an Uncle Iroh quote, because he would know all about wisdom, and then we'll pull which avatar you are that might embody this sort of journey that you've got going for you. Here we go. Good times become good memories, and the bad times make good lessons. And I love that thought here with these 2 cards, right? A lesson, things that we're learning from the past, history, things changing. And this here, whatever this is, it's going to be a lesson that's going to shape you forward in some way towards the things that you really love and that you really want to work for. That's really cool. That's really exciting, guys. Let me know in the comments below if this resonates with some of you. I'm really seeing that some of you are just working on something with truth in some way. Let's see what we got here. Karuk. Oh, very interesting. So Karuk was a waterbender. He had a lot to do with stress, and he was very hopeful and loving, and very determined, but he did have a lot of issues with spiritual corruption. He had a lot of anxiety, anger, pessimism. He was literally possessed by dark spirits, and just had also just a very short life. None of this has anything to say about you. What this is really talking about for me is just he tried to hide people from all of that stuff he was carrying inside of him, that burden on the world that he had to hold, all of that negative energy. And he did that out of love and hope, but there is a way to handle it in a more productive and healthy way that could be more beneficial. So I'm seeing here that whatever your life purpose is, it has to do with dealing with corruption, helping people with their stress or anger, the ways that they're lying to themselves even. You can even be literally a psychologist and just sit with people and talk about their feelings. Or maybe you're really good at that sort of thing, helping them with cause and effect. I'm even seeing that some of you, this could be very hard for some of you because it is very stressful and draining to deal with people's mental and emotional stuff. And it takes a certain type of person that's able to tackle that and not dive in emotionally to other people's issues and to still hold themselves in balance. And so I'm seeing that here, that might be something that you're very good at for yourself, which is pretty cool. So even though Karuk was a very troubled avatar, he still did make an impact in at least showing us how important it is to remain balanced, literally. The good times make good memories and the bad times make good lessons. Like the avatar cycle, maybe, yes, it's different people, but we see different lessons and things that they all learned from their past lives to learn how to do the right thing in the future. So I see that is something that you might have to do there, group 2, for either yourself or others as a life purpose. I also just see here with the Wheel of Fortune that your personal experiences are going to influence and apply how you help others, which is so cool. Okay, those are your messages, group 2. Let me know in the comments below if that resonated with everyone or anyone. I love seeing people's comments and likes. It makes me feel so good just to know what it was about for you. Like and subscribe if you loved what you see here today. You could also go onto my Etsy shop and purchase a reading if you want a personal one with me. You can also follow me on Instagram. And with that, thank you. I'm going to move on to group number 3. Hi, group 3. So if you chose the Fire Nation of the Fire Element, these are going to be your messages for your life purpose. Avatar style, if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra. This could be like your career. This could also just be things that you need to be focusing on right now, like your life purpose today, because life purpose isn't just about what you're supposed to do for like long term. It could just be what you're supposed to be doing right now in your life. So your first tarot card is the 3 of Cups. The next is the 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, High Priestess, and the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, guys, let's see what we have here. So already off the bat, group 3, you guys are a little bit different from groups 1 and 2, because I'm not seeing much about, not necessarily a lot about like a career or something like that. I'm seeing more about things that you need to be doing to be focusing on your life, your purpose for how to make your life whole and balanced. So the first thing I'm seeing here is we're having the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups is, talking about community, like-minded people, friendships, just celebrating as well, right? Like having celebratory moments and allowing yourself to have celebratory moments. This is something that I think you need to be having more involvement of in your life, is something where you're just appreciating the things that you're doing with other people, being a little bit more present that way. Because some of you, I'm also just seeing here with the 8 of Pentacles, You might be really hard workers, very diligent, very good at wanting to accomplish things, move on to the next step. How can you improve yourself? But sometimes that pulls you away from just appreciating how far you've come and appreciating the things that are currently in your life, because you're too busy focusing on the next thing to bring in and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Very interesting. You guys are so different from groups 1 and 2. And that brings a lot of conflict into your life. And that's seeming to be why the purpose of your life right now is to fix this. So why? Let's find out. Some of you might have some like rivalry issues. Not just sibling rivalry, but just in general needing to be the best at something. And that's causing a lot of stress in your life, both in like how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the people that you interact with, and how you push yourself to perform and outperform. You know, right? Like some of you, like competition is a part of life. It always has been. But some of you might take it to a level of, I can't be the best. I mean, if I'm not the best, then I'm like nothing, essentially. Not necessarily allowing yourself to grow and change in phases. And so that could be something that you're really struggling with, and it's a journey to walk through. And it's a journey that you don't have a clear outcome of right now. Especially with the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is all about illusions. It's about intuition. It's about, this part of the journey to me always talks about needing to essentially travel into the dark and uncover parts of ourselves that we can't clearly see or understand in order to understand them better, right? We're in a phase, literally a phase in our lives where things aren't so clear with ourselves. I feel like some of you have an issue with just figuring out who you are, what you want to do, and who you want to be with, things like that. That especially with this 5 of Pentacles too, we just have some struggles here about our accomplishments and what we think we could be doing and who we can be. And that might stem from comparing yourself to other people in a big way. So group 3, like I've been saying throughout like my whole video here, like when we talk about life purpose, it's not just about like, what's your life purpose and like, what are you supposed to do for the rest of your life? What's your calling? We have many things that we need to be doing. We have many parts of our lives that are part of our purpose, right? Like, there's things that I've done that I no longer did. And at that time, it was my purpose to do those things. Same thing for you. Like our purpose in life was to go to school and to make friends. And now maybe as adults, our purpose is to start becoming more part of who we are and embodying that and whatever, you know, like we all have different phases in our life, literally, that we're on different journeys of. So how can you compare your phase of life to someone else's? How can you do that? We're all at different stages. And because of that, because we're all at different stages, when you're able to accept that, you're able to accept where you are in your stage and be able to work with people and to appreciate people in their stage of life. And then be able to also celebrate their stage in life, to help them if they need struggles, if they're having struggles and they need help, and to be okay and secure within yourself and where you're at and continue on without having to be a thing of, I need to be better than somebody else. This is a very personal, spiritual journey for you. Let's see what your oracle cards say. Okay, so we have comfort. A lot of work lately has resulted in very little comfort. Do something you love. Go to a favorite place, read your favorite book, go eat your favorite food, whatever it is, be present in the moment to get the full comfort that you enjoy. I literally said this at the beginning. We're too focused on how to be better than someone else or how to accomplish something that we're not being present. And this is saying here we need to bring comfort in our lives right now in order to be present about it. Laughter. You need a good laugh. You really do. Too much stress I'm feeling right now from you guys. And this might be something that you've been in for a long time. Definitely, especially with the moon phase here. The moon card to me is sometimes a card of stagnancy. It's a card of dormancy, like Sleeping Beauty, right? Like she's just sleeping for what, like the moon is just in a cycle of slowness for me sometimes. And that's how it is, right? It's dark before it's light, essentially. So you're in the dark and you're exploring things before the sun can come up and you can see clarity on it. And then you go into the dark again, and then you have to discover something new about yourself. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract and support from the universe. So presence, again, is a message here. Oh, you got 2. There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. So really embracing who we are. And get the fuck outside, move your ass, your body is pissed at you. Okay, I definitely see that there as well, especially with this comfort card here. Definitely saying something about comfort zones here. And comfort zone doesn't always mean it's a place we want to be. It's just the place that we're familiar with and that we choose to stay in. Because that's easier than taking a leap of faith or going out there. So sometimes the Eight of Pentacles, yes, it talks about details, it talks about being studious, it talks about, you know, making things happen. But sometimes, especially in this lineup, I'm really seeing it as sometimes we use it as an excuse to stay where we're at. So then we could sit there and say, well, I'm not getting anywhere because look where I'm at. It's a comfort zone thing, right? Like it's almost like you're setting up parts of your life in order to stay here unintentionally, because then you can continue to say, you know, that I'm not better than anyone else or something like that. It's a comfort thing that we need to break out. Literally break this out and be who we truly are. Start living more in the present and understanding that this phase in life, we're in it, and how long it is partially on us. Like you're not just going to necessarily wake up one day and all of a sudden be over something or be over this pattern of behavior. It takes a little bit of effort each day in order to get yourself out of this. So your life purpose right now, group 3, is to start being more present, start getting a little bit more mindful, doing things in your life that bring you comfort for this, just for the idea that it brings you comfort, and not because you're trying to be better than anyone else or prove yourself in some way. Just start exploring what actually makes me happy. What makes me happy? What makes me have a good time here? What things can I explore? What hobbies can I explore? What jobs can I explore and see if I like? What people can I explore? Rather than sitting there and thinking, oh, I've got to do this because then I have to catch up to this person and this people over here are doing so well and blah, 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 blah. Like too much mentally there that I'm seeing. That is right now, guys, and because it's a phase, the moon also says to me too, like, yes, this is a phase and like you can grow out of it, but it's something that could always come back. So right now, this is something that you're either in or you're about to be in, or you have been in a long time. And it's about starting to get those practices in to get yourself out of this phase and then maintain those. So then when this type of phase occurs again in your life, you're ready for it and you can start working through it again because you have been there before. Been there before, literally meaning that you were there and then got out of it, rather than that you've been there this whole time. It's time to start kind of seeing how we can break free of this mold that we've got going for ourselves here. Let's get you guys an avatar now. Let's see what avatar. You know, both of these feel right, so I'm going to take them both out. Ooh, you guys have Yang Chen. She was an airbender. She was the last avatar airbender before Aang. Determined, wisdom, devotion to others, or a dream, respected. And then Roku, he was the firebender that was right before Aang, and it was, he's stubborn, caring, tends to hold a grudge, understanding, and knows who you are. Yes. This is how I see this. I see we needing like a devotion to others or to a dream, a part of ourselves to just get to broaden ourselves a bit. And then also needing to embody this idea of knowing who we are, of embracing who we are, while letting go of a grudge, while trying to focus on our stubbornness, because this is very much like an internal thing that you're dealing with, group 3. So those are 2 really cool ones there. You got 2 avatar feelings coming out here. Love it. That fire and air. Woo, wild. All right, let's get you guys a quote from Uncle Iroh, because he always knew what was best. Let's see. This one feels right. Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility, I have terrible handwriting. True humility is the only antidote to shame. Some of you might be feeling some shame right now as you compare yourselves to others, you know? But again, like finding comfort with it, with who you are, accepting who you are, accepting that you're not somebody else. That's what's going to fully embody you. And I'm seeing this, nothing is sexier than my authentic truth. Some of you might have some issues with like your appearance or your sex appeal or even like your value as a person to other people. But that's something that, and you might be trying to find that in other people or in accomplishing things, and you might be equaling accomplishment to value. And what I'm seeing here is that you're already valuable. You already have reasons to be loved just for the fact that you exist, and starting to embrace that, learning to love yourself a bit more. So then when you do tackle the things you want to tackle, it's not coming from a place of just comparing yourself to others. Okay, group 3, those are your messages for your soul purpose right now. Let me know in the comments below if this resonates with you at all. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want a personal reading, you can go to my Etsy shop and purchase one. They're pretty inexpensive, and I do love to talk to you guys even further. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, do that as well. It's the same name, SunbeamTarot. All of this is in the description box in this video. And with that, take care. I'm going to move on to group number 4. Hello, group 4. If you have chosen the air nomads or the air element, then these are going to be your messages for your life purpose right now, right? Things that you need to be focusing on, some area that you need to pursue, whatever that means to you. We're going to look at your tarot cards first. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender themed. Our first one is the 2 of Swords for life purpose. Judgment. 7 of Swords. The 9 of Wands in reverse. 10 of Cups. You guys got a little extra one here, 7 of Wands. Interesting. So where do I want to begin on your life purpose? Where do I want to begin? This is even more fascinating than group 3 was for me. Everybody's been a little bit different, and you guys are no different. Everyone's been different, but you're no different. Okay, so firstly off the bat here, I really do want to start with the 2 of Swords. So our life purpose, it starts with this idea for me in terms of like destiny. Some of you might be trying to find your life purpose in a way that's a little bit more romanticized. You want a destiny, you want a calling, you have this expectation over how it's supposed to feel, right? Like, I want to see something and I want it to click and I want it to make sense, and I want to believe it with my whole heart. I want it to just make sense of who I am, right? That's what I see here with this. Like you're trying to find it is what obviously you're here for and you're wondering about. So when we say that and we have like the Judgment card, we're putting a lot of strain on ourselves with this expectation of trying to find that purpose, of trying to figure out who we are, of trying to live up to what other people might be saying of us or how we envision ourselves to be. And that's causing a lot of misperceptions on what we're capable of and what we're not capable of based off of our emotions in that moment. So for example, I'm just really seeing something that's like, I really would love to do this, but I don't know if I'm good enough to do that, or, I honestly just don't even know what I want to do right now. So what does that mean about me? I'm so stressed out. I need to pick something. I need to pick something right now. Maybe I should say I want this when I really don't. I'm seeing just a lot of indecision or just not fully feeling like yourself right now in how you're trying to do your life purpose. So this might be where some of you might be already like in a role or with a person, or you might be doing something in your life right now that you thought was your life purpose, and now maybe we need to do a shift, a transition of some sort. And that could be scary, especially if you believed that was what you wanted to do your whole life. Now I'm seeing that we're doing something different, especially with the Judgment card here. We're being reborn into something new. It's time for us to change. A new part of ourselves, a new part of our personality, and what we want is coming through or trying to come through, and we're blocking that from happening. Why? Well, I think some of us might be feeling some shame about changing our mind about our life purpose. And that could be because, like I said, we have the 10 of Cups here, community, everything was set up, everything's perfect. Some of you, this could be very specific, take what resonates. It's not going to apply to everyone. Some of you might have like that perfect job or that perfect relationship, or you might have gotten the thing that you wanted, and now you're over here going, okay, well, I have it. Well, now what? I still want more, or I'm still not happy. Sorry, I just paused it for just a second because a fire truck was coming nearby and it was very loud. So, as I was saying, some of you might be feeling some guilt over wanting something different with your life because you might have that thing that you were wanting. You might have had that perfect job. You might have gotten the guy or the girl. You might have started the hobby, right? Like you've done the thing that you set out to do already in your life, and it's not what you wanted now, or it's not, you expected this to fulfill you forever, and it's not. And that is causing some conflict within you, conflict within yourself. I just said that, conflict within you, conflict within how you interact with people. You might even be afraid to say something to others because you don't want their sass. I am seeing some defensiveness here with that 7 of Wands, or trying to fight this feeling of needing a change, which is interesting. So this is going to be very specific for some people. Like some people are still wanting that thing and they haven't gotten it yet, and they're struggling and they're unhappy. Some people might be gotten exactly the thing that they wanted and now they want something more. I'm here to say that both are perfectly okay. Like I've been saying throughout my entire video to all the other groups, life purpose isn't just one thing, or even 2 things or 3 things. It's a multiple things that we're meant to do within our life. We are only here in the present, right? And yes, we can do things in the present that work ourselves up to what we want in the future, but we only have today, right? And so with that being said, like my life purpose today was to create this video. This was my life purpose for today, but that's not my life purpose every single day of my life. I have a job that I do love and care for. I'm getting a degree in something I have a degree, but I'm studying for a big test that gives me something else that has to do with the job that I work in. I have a cat, so I'm like, my purpose is to be a cat mom to this cat that I have. You know, all these, I love tarot, like I do tarot stuff, and my next thing is to sell my own oracle card deck and like sell more like personal readings, but like that's just not the only thing I want to do. And like for those of you who don't know, like I used to work at Disney World and I thought I was going to do that forever, and I didn't. Like we have different parts of our lives that we transition into, and I'm seeing here that it might be time for you to transition to a new one, become someone new. You're embracing a new part of yourself, and it starts with understanding that you need to kind of do it and not be so afraid of making the wrong choice, making a mistake, of what other people are going to think, of feeling bad because you wanted this thing and now you don't want it anymore. And that's okay. That happens. You're going to want something else new and better for who you're becoming. Let's look and see what our cards say. Success comes quicker when you practice daily discipline and self-control. Start one manageable habit to help build your discipline. Don't give up. Very nice. Success could be here. Happy thoughts. To feel happier right now, think of a memory or something else that makes you smile. When I focus on my inner light, the world throughout words, okay. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. Perfect card for this. You do you. Stop trying to change people. That shit never works. Okay. Love this because, yeah, this is all about you doing you right now. Doing something different with your life. This happy thoughts here, I like to think of this as thinking back to a time when you even with what you're doing right now or where you are right now, there might have been a time back then where you didn't think that you would do that. And now you are. Or maybe there might have been a time where you thought you couldn't change your mind or change who you are, or you liked something totally different when you were a kid or a year ago than you do now. Looking back on those times and seeing how you've changed will give you a lot more flexibility and acceptance to allow yourself to change some more. And there's some success here with this. So for some of you, whatever this decision is, this decision to change your life and become someone new or embrace a new part of yourself, there is success in that. There's success in that change. Or this could be the total opposite, and it could just be saying, is that truly what I want to do with my life? Do I want to give up everything that I've been doing and go a different path? Maybe the decision is just to see that confrontation there and decide, like, hey, do I actually want to get everything up? Or am I actually happy with the way my life is? So I'm getting some dual messages here for some of you. Again, take what resonates and have fun with it. Some of you might be having some conflict about who you are and what you want. And maybe you're looking at your life and going, well, I don't want that anymore. And for some of you, that's fine. Like maybe you don't want that. For others of you, this might even just be a hurdle to get past, to discover, oh no, I actually do want this stuff. And I needed that lesson, that self-doubt in order to truly determine that, yes, I actually want it. There's a big lesson here internally that you're going through, and there's a decision that needs to be made, and it's truly looking at who you are and who you're becoming and seeing if your current life reflects that and if it makes you happy or if it's time to move on. That is your current purpose right now, is to discover that. Let's look and see what avatar can help you with this. This one feels right. Oh my gosh, Juan. For those of you who've never seen The Legend of Korra, Juan is the first avatar ever, which means he didn't actually have an element that he was in charge of. He was in a family, okay, I'll get to him in a second, but his things are original, cares for others, enlightened, loves the journey, owns up to mistakes, and values relationships. Very fun. So the thing about Juan is, he was the first avatar. He lived in a city on top of a lion turtle that was in the Fire Nation. So he used to get fire if they needed to go hunting. But in terms of like actually having the element of fire, he didn't. That was the first element that he got, was fire. But eventually he got all the other ones as well. So he wasn't born into a specific... wasn't born with a specific power to begin with. And he learned from his mistakes, and then his next lives learned from his mistakes as well and learned how he changed. He is literally the perfect one for you to have, because I'm just getting too excited here. I'm getting too fast. You changing your life purpose, or like what you're doing next, is literally like changing people in the avatar cycle. You're literally becoming somebody else. You are literally reincarnating into someone else. And that's what Juan did. He was one way for a while, and then he learned, and then he died, and then he became someone else, and then he learned from that, and he learned from that, and learned from that. And there's success in that type of way of living. There is still success in changing who you are, starting from the beginning, leaving things behind. Or there's even success in staying where you are and going on a journey to discover who you truly are. That is so cool. That, like, your purpose is literally to just embrace change right now. Embrace that you are becoming someone new. Let's look and see what your quote from Uncle Ira is. Oh, the entire deck just flew away. Let's try this again. Okay. All right. Calm down. Calm down. Interesting. Okay, it is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur and to seek to restore honor. And what did I put here? Owns up to mistakes. Some of you might have taken a path or have made decisions in your path, like I said, that you didn't actually want. You might have made a choice and that you're actually unhappy with that choice. You might have made a mistake and you might be regretting that mistake for some of you, but it's okay. Life is about making decisions. And I also just see this here as saying, like, hey, life isn't a mistake. Yes, we sometimes do things that set us back or that end up not being what we truly want later on. And how would we know that until we made that choice, right? Your purpose here is to start making more choices, embracing more choices, accepting that you will change your mind, and have that be okay. Okay, group 4, that is my TED Talk for you today. That is Uncle Iroh's TED Talk for you. That is the whole Avatar Cycle Tarot TED Talk for you. Let me know in the comments below if this resonates with you. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want a personal reading, you can go to my Etsy shop and purchase one. You can also follow me on Instagram. And with that, take care. Have a nice day.